This episode brought to you by network lag. It's like karma, but pointless.
This is Hot Drop, where we bring you premier PUBG analysis and vague promises of a community night. I'm Dano.
And I'm Cody.
And let's get into it.
Oh, that was a good one. I like that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So what do we got, Cody? We're riding the high of that LAN party.
We are riding the high of that. Thanks to everybody who hung out with us. We played, how long did we stream? Like 9 hours total?
Pretty much, yeah. It was about 2 or 3 o'clock till midnight, I think.
It was pretty cool. I think we originally hopped on at like 2, got off for like an hour or so, but we played nonstop after that. And that was quite a good time. We got a couple of wins in War Mode, so thanks to everybody who hung out with us and played in War Mode. It sucks that we couldn't play Funky Chicken that day. The servers were all busted up to hell.
Dumb as hell.
Dumb as hell. But it was awesome. I really enjoyed that. We got to do that again. We did a face reveal. You guys know what we look like. You know about Dan's great posture and just my tummy dance that I did.
And my upside down face hair-wise, according to Mongball. Thank you for that. I think it was Jay who was like, I expected you to have hair. And I was like, I also expected that I would have hair at this age. But it just doesn't work out sometimes.
You can't win them all.
So you got to own it. It's gone.
But anyway.
I grow it on my face.
So again, thanks everybody. That was a blast. Look to see you next time. And then you can check out my wife's wonderful charcuterie or whatever it's called.
Oh my God, that cheese board was top notch.
Yeah, it was pretty great. And she made us a homemade Palmer in a big ass dispenser.
I was going to ask about that. Was that homemade or what was that?
I'm sure she had some sort of mix, but
oh my God, still was made in her home.
She bought tea, so
oh my God,
it was great.
Yep, top tier wife, just incredible. Thank you, thank her, everyone. It was just such a great time. Got to do it again. So
moving into this episode, get us that overall rating in the UK Apple Store, please. If you listen and you live in the UK, rate us 5 stars, no more, no less. Just give us those 5 stars so that we show up there.
Yeah, we have no average rating, so people don't see any stars. I'd like to see some number of stars. That would be nice. 5 would be a good number, yeah. And this is only applying to the UK people, unless you can somehow trick your phone to make you think that you live in the UK. Because for us, we have a pretty decent rating on iTunes, but it could be better. So I'm just saying.
Could be.
If you guys haven't rated us on iTunes yet, please do so. It really does go a long way. This is real talk for a hot second there. Just to get noticed, move up the charts, grow the community, give back to you guys. That's what we're all about.
Yep. Also, join our Discord, Hot Drop Podcast. Get in there. We are not Hot Drop GG. Please don't come in here asking if we're Hot Drop GG.
No, we're not.
That. I can ban you, no problem.
Insta ban.
Yep.
Yeah. You guys know all about the Discord. The link's in the show notes. Just go find it. Come hang out. We'd love to hear from you. And also call the hotline because it so desperately needs some love, and it's my favorite segment. And I can't make up calls. It just wouldn't feel right if I just called into it myself and faked things. So every call you've heard so far is real, is our, you guys responding to us. So please keep it going. Call it 508-216-0006. And I know we plugged it last week to try to get you guys to use it for the question of the week. That failed miserably. So I know you guys can do better. Just hit up that hotline. Make it bling, baby. And also, I want to plug the Xbox Club real quick. If you are an Xboxer and don't feel like joining the Discord, or if you're already on the Discord and just want another way to find people and connect with the group on the Xbox platform, just search Hot Drop under Xbox Clubs, and you will see our logo, the black logo with the parachute crate, and you can join up the Xbox Club.
All right, so let's hop into this.
This is all about E3, baby. We got a lot of news. So much news.
E3 Sports Ready.
So the last episode was called Esports Ready, and I feel like we're going to confuse people, but it's just too good to not call this one E3 Sports Ready. It's just so good. That was all you, man. That was brilliant.
I thought of it myself.
That's why I keep you around.
So let's just get right into the Xbox box.
What's in the box?
Sanhok this year, coming summer 2018. Bitches.
War Mode this year, coming 2018. Bitches.
Yeah, they had a lot of Xbox announcements. The biggest ones: Jungle Map, Sanhok, Savage, Funky Chicken, Sauvage, Sausage is coming this summer. We don't know for sure. It just says later this summer. And of course, War Mode also coming this summer on the Xbox. Your prayers are being answered. Finally, you'll be able to jump in on the War Mode that all of us have been enjoying on PC. Hopefully you'll have a working game by then.
I was going to say, hopefully it's not going to be janky as hell.
Seriously.
And you guys will be able to start off with the first War Mode that we had, which I believe was SMGs. And it was awesome. Oh, no, it wasn't SMGs. It was
I think it was
specific weapons. It was Scars and
M4, SKS.
M4, SKS.
I think there was M16 thrown in there too. And they had crate drops.
The VSS was also in there.
Yeah,
and they had crate drops.
And that was something that was missing from this War Mode. And do you want to just jump into War Mode, actually? Because we have the notes that bounce around a little bit, but we're on War Mode now. We might as well just continue with that.
Yep.
What'd you think of this one? We had
I loved it.
the Car 98 this time around.
Yeah, it was fun, but not in the same way that the first two were fun. This one was Car 98s, 4X scopes, ghillie suits, and all that in the rain. I thought it was fun, but it really didn't do what it said it was going to do because it turned into a lot of pistol fights because people dropped so close together. But you did come out of it getting some really cool on-the-go shots with your Car 98, which was just super satisfying.
Oh my god, yeah. I had some highlight-worthy kills. I think we all did, honestly.
Yeah.
Because you play it so much with the snipers, and eventually one of those kills is going to be a sweet one. So I had a ton of fun. I agree with you about the pistol kills. It seemed like you were either mid-range or very long-range, or you were just right next to people, and you had to use your pistol. And it came down to whoever got the P92 or the not the revolver, pretty much.
The 1911.
1911, yeah. And it was just a little too close quarters for me at times.
It was what?
A little too close quarters for me at times.
Yeah, but you know what? A couple of good things came out of it that were probably unintended, and that was a lot of really good grenade use as well.
Yeah.
I think everybody was using grenades. There was a lot of urban fighting, so the Car 98s became almost irrelevant sometimes, unless you were on the outskirts shooting into town. But people kept trying to take buildings, which made it fun, and you would use your grenades to clear buildings, or you would surround the building and just lob grenades inside of it, and that was a blast. I loved it.
Definitely. The one thing I did find was the sawn-off pistol was just awful. It seemed like it did no damage. It either killed in one hit, or it didn't kill until you hit him 3 times with it. I think it was a lot to do with the limb penetration being non-existent, so the limbs and hands absorb so much damage compared to hitting someone in the chest. It's probably what we were seeing, but it needs some tweaking, or they just need to put in the limb penetration.
For sure.
What'd you think about the rain?
Loved it. I loved it. I forgot how much I love the rain maps.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was great. You can't hear people moving, and because this one was so fast paced, you would have to rely on your friends to tell you that somebody was landing near you.
Yeah. Yep. It did mask pretty much all the sounds. And the ghillie suits as well made it pretty hard to see people. That was something that we noticed too, like more so than I thought it would, because you blend in so well against the green grass on Erangel.
Yeah, and it was it was darker, so you couldn't quite see anything further away than maybe 20 yards.
Yeah. So what did you think about the teams mechanics? We've seen a couple rounds of War Mode. We've seen the first one, I think it was 5 teams of 10 or 3 teams of 10, and then we split out to groups of 5. I think there were some squad games as well in and amongst these War Modes. What did you think of the team structure this time? 3 teams of 10.
Best. That is the best structure that you can get. Jumping in with 10 people, especially 10 people that you're on the same Discord with, is key. Being able to hop in there, know that there are 10 people you're comfortable playing with, and going up against only 2 other teams is the easiest way to go about fighting. I think what was difficult about the one with the teams of 5 was that it was a free-for-all and you're not really communicating that well. It's almost as if 10 people makes it easier to communicate than adding 1 more person to your squad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I completely agree. It was so cool with 10 people on the Discord, and it lined up so perfectly with our LAN party too, because we were all of us in the same room, and then we had the rest of you guys in the Discord, and we just felt like a unit working together. It was super cool. They definitely need to keep the teams of 10. I think that's what is the heart and soul of War Mode for sure.
And in this mode as well, they didn't have a revive mechanic, which I know that you liked. So why don't you talk about that a bit?
Yeah, I liked it because it seemed like I got back into the match a little bit faster after dying. I think the first War Mode especially, it was a really slow timer after you got downed, and you could just lay there for a while waiting for the timer to tick down and hoping you didn't make the plane, hoping you didn't miss the plane. So you would sit there and like watch the plane timer and compare it to your health and just be like, come on, come on, come on, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. And then you'd miss the plane and have to sit there for 35 seconds. So having no revive made it a little bit easier to get back in. And on the flip side, I think what they tried to do last War Mode, which was shorten the timer, or I guess speed up the timer to make it so that you died faster after being downed, was a good intentional change. Like, they had good intentions for that, but I think what it ended up doing is making it so no one could reach you to revive you in time anyway. So I think it's almost better to have no revives and just stick with this. You get shot, you go down, you're done, and then you can just immediately jump back into the plane. I do like the revives, but I think it's more fun to keep it faster paced.
Yeah, for sure.
And what I want to see next is an SMG War Mode. This is something we haven't seen yet. We haven't used a single SMG in a War Mode up until this point. So I think that would be a fun one to do next, for sure.
That'd be a blast, especially on the smaller map.
Yeah, exactly. That would be good for Savage.
It would be ideal for Savage, even.
Yeah. Silenced. Oh, yeah, that would be cool. Because there's so much tree cover.
So much tree cover, yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
You can just get right up on people and they wouldn't see
Use
it
of
coming.
throwables would also be implemented much more than it was in the other ones, minus this last one because we used them a lot. But
yeah, yep. Keep the like dynamic weather and SMGs on Savage. That'd be so cool with airdrops enabled. That would be fun. So that's what actually you guys have to look forward to on Xbox. We just jumped over that. That was not part of the Xbox box, but we wanted to talk about War Mode because it's coming. Yeah, you're going to have it soon. And what else will they have soon, Cody?
a lot of fun stuff. We have a preview for the patch.
Yes, we do. A little information straight out of the Xbox headquarters community manager on Reddit. Not on their official forums, only on Reddit. So it's kind of cool that they're using different channels, but of course Reddit is one of the more difficult to work with communities, outspoken communities. So they posted this on Reddit. It's a nice long letter just saying what you should plan to see in the next Xbox patch. June 26th it comes out, and they know that it's very far away, so they decided to create a series of articles. This is the first of 3 that will have information about what to expect in this next patch. So why don't you kick it off with stability, Cody? Do you want to just skim through this really quick and see anything interesting here?
Yep, so they broke stability up into 2 sections. One, they're trying to reduce crashes that occur after playing for a lot of hours, and they're also trying to reduce crashes that occur during loading screens.
Yeah, this is that that memory leak that we talked about a couple weeks ago. So it sounds like they're trying to get a handle on that, which is definitely a good thing, because never should you have to reboot your console after a few hours.
Yep. Bullet point 2 of 3 is that they're working on optimization, as is the case for all platforms of this game.
Yeah.
Minus mobile, which apparently is just the golden goose. First, character optimization. With character movement, there are many resources, some of them working inefficiently. This has been a crucial issue with performance. They're aiming to use 50% of current resources to work on optimization of characters. So then they want to talk about shadows, but that's a lot of resources, I guess.
50% of current resources on character optimization. Interesting. So, yeah, it's I guess it's just your character, the characters around you, the movement. I would like to know exactly what this means, what they're optimizing. Is it just like the textures on the characters? Is it like extra movements that are happening that are being drawn by your GPU, but you don't actually see them? But yeah, it looks like this is a pretty big thing that they're focusing on, this character movement. Inefficient resources being utilized. pretty interesting. And also
Very
interesting
strange.
shadows, because we haven't seen this come up yet either.
Well, there was the reason I was kind of going into it and I backtracked is that they're focusing on shadows separately because they process differently than the characters, even though they are part of it. And so instead of it being an effect of the lighting in the game, it is a separate entity. Like they could easily turn shadow off and save a bunch of processing power.
Interesting. Yeah, I kind of always expected that it would be drawn just from the characters and it would be calculated as part of that movement.
So apparently they're trying to focus on that and keep the integrity of the game so that they can have appropriate shadows.
Yeah. Interesting. I dig it.
And finally, effects optimizations. Care packages and smoke grenades will be optimized as they slow down the character and cause lag while in the smoke. There are also a lot of resources being used for vehicle effects while driving. They'll try to reduce the amount without diminishing the quality of the effects. So essentially, they're trying to compress code to make it use less processing power to still do the same thing, is what it sounds to me. But also, they also sort of say they don't know how.
Yeah. Right. We'll try to reduce this without diminishing the quality of the effects. Yeah, so all, like the little sparks, the dust that puffs up, maybe tire sounds, all that thing, all those things. They're going to optimize those and make it so that they are scaled down without sacrificing on the quality of the effects so much. But there's probably just so much being drawn that you don't even notice it. So even if they were to scale down the effects, you probably wouldn't notice, and you'd be thankful for the extra performance, I think.
Yeah. So in order to remedy all the waiting and masking it as E3 happening, they're giving everybody a free skin on Xbox. They're giving you some sort of mobster-esque tracksuit.
Yeah. This comes from the movie Battle Royale, which is what this game is inspired by. I think this is one of the characters from the movie. He wears a tracksuit like that. So this is it's like a gray and white tracksuit. Pants are like light gray with a black stripe down the side, kind of like a sporty hoodie. It's the whole suit. So it has the top, the pants, and the sneakers. And you get this for free.
Yeah. So thanks for waiting, everybody. Enjoy this bloody suit.
Yeah. To get this, let's just go over this real quick in case you guys didn't know. At the banner at the bottom right of the lobby screen, go to settings, and it will say you've received the free tracksuit set. After
And you claim it.
Oh, sorry, not settings. It's at the bottom right. There's a get it free giant thing there. You can't really miss it, so you just press the button and you get it. All right. So, yeah, Xbox, quick recap. Sanhok this year, summer, War Mode this summer, patch coming June 26th, free skin, and you're exiting the Xbox box and into...
You are now entering the personal computer place. I want to talk about June 22nd.
Okay, let's talk about June 22nd. What do we got?
And it's not Jurassic World.
You don't have any words to that song to sing, but I can make some up in my head.
It's Jurassic Park. It's Jurassic Park.
Nailed it.
There are dinosaurs.
Holy shit, what the fuck? There's dinosaurs. That's a little, remix.
We officially get Sanhok on the 22nd. It is sort of like Isla Sorna, I guess, from
I don't even know what that means.
Jurassic Park. It's the island from, I believe, the second book / movie.
Oh, okay. Take your word for it.
It is a tropical paradise where a lot of carnage occurs.
I see.
But we get it. We finally get it. It is the launch officially. We can choose to play it all the time, which we probably will.
Yes.
I don't see us playing a whole lot of Miramar or Erangel ever again.
Nope. And I 100% agree, because come Friday the 22nd, we'll finally have the map that Erangel and Miramar should have been. The fast pace, the close quarters, the just overall really great look and feel, the pacing, it's all perfect. I think Savage, Sanhok, Funky Chicken, all of its names, whatever you want to call it, is the best PUBG map, and it's everything that Xbox needs as well as PC.
I guarantee when they come out with the next map, it will be the same size.
Yes. I don't. You called it last time, but I would agree with you. They're not going to bring back a bigger map.
Nope. Pointless. In fact, I would argue that sooner or later they are going to reduce the size of the first 2 maps and call it a day.
That's a bold prediction, and I like
Yes,
it.
it is.
I kind of want to throw it up on the big board if we had a big board to throw it up on.
Throw it up there.
Because I think they're going to see, as soon as they implement this, that very few people are playing Miramar or choosing to put it into the map selection. And it's going to be a toss-up between Erangel and this map. And then I think people will realize that this map, the new one, Savage, just plays so much faster and is so much more fun and fast-paced because of that, because of the size, that they'll see people dropping off of Erangel, and will be the most popular map. And it also runs great and looks great and has things like dynamic weather and the dynamic circles that adjust based on the number of people alive. So
good.
You know, this is what it should be. This is what we've been waiting for.
Cannot wait.
Yep. And I think it's cool that we got to see this being built all along. Like, we were there from the start for the checkerboard textures and the weird holes in the map and the lack of decals and lack of objects in rooms. Like, we saw it from the very beginning, and we saw them build it out and gave them feedback. And now we see the finished product, and it looks awesome. It's cool to be a part of that. I think more games could take a hint, early access games, and have you be involved in something like this from start to finish, and on a fairly quick timeline too. I don't think it was really that long.
No.
I'd like to go back and see when it was first released, but I feel like we haven't been testing for that long. They finished it up a lot quicker than I thought they would.
Yes, they did. And it helped with that extended testing.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that was so nice to see.
Yeah. So, what's the bigger news that we have here, Daniel? What did they end this awesome sweet ass trailer at E3 with?
A winter map.
It's a winter map.
Oh, harmonizing. I heard it. Perfect.
Freeze my ass off on a winter map.
We have a winter map.
It is finally in development, albeit very early development, as they say, but they are bringing it to Xbox and PC this coming winter. So there's going to be new mechanics built around the snow. So, as I predicted a long time ago, play that clip, Daniel. I did say we would be able to track footprints. I think you said it too.
Yeah.
I think you might have said it first. I don't remember now.
I also said we'd be able to drive snow machines like Sarah Palin. This map is so early on in the development, they didn't show us anything other than the ground. Not a single building, nothing. I'd like to see how much they really have. I doubt it's much, and they just wanted to tease us something that's coming that's cool, but it's going to be a blast. They talked about this map ages ago, like months and months ago, like talking back when I did the show alone on YouTube. You'll have to dig this up. It was like episode, I don't know, 7, 8, somewhere around there, months ago. They talked about this new winter map. They teased Miramar, and then they teased this winter map, which will have mountains in the center and then villages and areas around it. So, long time coming. Snow mechanics? What else could there possibly be? Track footprints?
It's got to be track footprints.
Track
it's
vehicles?
Be, slower movement speeds, maybe even slippery slopes on ice and such.
Mm-hmm. Camo skins, like winter gear. We're talking
it's gotta
snowy
be. Track
ghillie
vehicles
suits.
has got to be the biggest thing in here. I would be so excited to have a big ass track vehicle.
Yeah, like
we're
a
not talking
ATV
like a
or
snowmobile,
Jeep
like
or
a
something.
like a snow prowler.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be sick. And it's like almost like a tank, like a personnel carrier.
Like it can be a 4-person carrier, and one's got to be on the exterior.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this would be cool. Skis. I don't know if we're getting too far there.
Could you
but
imagine?
just a ski attachment. They're on your backpack. They'll give away your position because they stick out so much, but you could use them to go down hills.
If you need to make an escape,
Yeah,
that'd be sick.
that would be cool. I think it's going to be a smaller map. I think you called that. I think we talked about that. We don't.
A higher map though, like you're gonna have one giant mountain.
And like a lot of elevation. You mean?
Yeah, so like imagine like like one end of this is going to be like a ski resort. There's going to be villages at the base of the mountain. At the top, there's going to be some sort of cave system, and around it, you will have a road, but only on like 2/3 of it, 2/3 of the side leading up.
Are you looking at some kind of visual, or are you just making this up as you go? Because it sounds pretty legit. You fooled me. That sounds awesome. A ski lift that works. That would be cool.
Sick.
Yeah. So smaller map, cold gear, cold just surroundings, I guess, because it's snowy, right?
Yeah, I wonder if the dynamic weather would cause it to blizzard at some point.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be cool. Super cool. What else? I mean, we don't know anything about it yet, and I'm really anxious to get more information, but I'm also really anxious to play Savage finally, so I don't want to get too ahead of myself.
Right.
But to know that this is on the horizon, we're halfway through the year. It's June 13th, 14th, somewhere around there, depending on when you listen to this. We've got a lot of Savage to play between then and now. And we also have this to look forward to, which is cool. So 6 months from now, expect to see another map. Hopefully they'll do the same thing here with the testing process. I would really like to see that again.
For sure.
There's a little more information about this map that they teased in a forum post. They said it's coming to PC and Xbox this winter. And what this tells me, actually, reading between the lines a little bit, is that I think the Xbox build is getting very, very close to that of the PC. And I think we're going to see a lot less Xbox-only patches, and eventually we're going to converge into one timeline, one development timeline. And we're going to have
crossplay might be a thing at some point.
Crossplay could be a thing if it's the same build, exactly. And then we'll have every patch that comes out hits PC and Xbox at the same time. So we'll no longer have any discrepancy in features or bugs and other things.
But that does not mean the Xbox box will go away.
It does not. There will always be an Xbox box for you guys. It might be light on content, like this week. I just realized we didn't do a gameplay tip. But it'll be there. It'll be ready and waiting for you to unwrap.
In our hearts. 'Cause you'll be in my heart. No matter what they say. You'll be here in my heart. Always.
Okay. What else is coming to PC? What'd you say? I missed that.
Is it Philip Collins?
I think it's Felipe, actually.
I believe so, yeah. We're getting a ballistic shield, and it's pretty bitchin'.
Yeah.
I don't know what the functionality is going to be or how people are going to want to use it, but it does take up a primary weapon slot, and they were thinking it's going to be implemented in War Mode first to see how people use it, which I think will probably be the only time people really use it.
Yeah.
I think that you don't usually have a lot of close quarter combat where a ballistic shield is going to work well, unless it's early game. Come mid to late game, you are doing less breaching of buildings.
Right.
And so you're going to want to drop it eventually to pick up your sniper, or assault rifle, whatever you end up using. But early game, if you find one and you guys want to clear buildings, say in Pachinki or Rozhawk or something like that, you're gonna want to use that, I would say, especially if it can take a real beating.
Right. Yeah, I'd like to see how they work this mechanic out, because it could be like super, super overpowered, potentially. Like, there has to be some kind of way to counteract someone with a shield, whether it's like shooting at their feet, like in old Counterstrike versions, that was the thing, you just crouch and shoot at their feet. Or if it's like thin enough that you can still hit someone who's behind it. Or, sorry, not wide enough. That you
Maybe
can still
it's
hit
their
someone.
way of really, really encouraging all these grenades.
Yeah.
It's working. I think the idea behind them forcing us to use grenades is working. Maybe that's the solution.
Maybe it has hit points, like it probably would, like a vest would. So it would break after a certain amount of time, a certain amount of hits.
Yeah.
But yeah, it takes the primary weapon slot, which means you probably can't use a rifle with it, because if you could, that seems extremely overpowered. So you're going to have to be stuck to your pistol. But I think what they stress here is it's powerful in the squad-based games because you have your teammates behind you to back you up, so you can push forward while they are behind you, and you're protecting them, like the old movies. We fight in the shade. What is that, 300?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know how this is going to play out. I think War Mode is going to be a good test of it, and they might take it away for a while and tweak it depending on our feedback. I could see a lot of people having very strong opinions about this item.
I agree. I think it's going to be really interesting to see once it comes out.
Yeah. Oh, it says right there. Sorry, I skipped right over that. So this can be used simultaneously with sidearms, SMGs, melee weapons, and throwable grenades. I don't know if you said that or if I completely blacked out for a hot minute there, but
Well, that's why I was kind of talking about breaching buildings.
yeah. So SMGs, man, this could be pretty nutty. Up close, shield and vector.
You're going to move slower. There's no way they're not going to make this and have you move slower.
It has to be, yeah. There has to be a downside. So, yeah, look forward to that. That's coming soon. Coming to War Mode first, coming to PC and Xbox. We had some maintenance tonight, and
Garbage trash.
can no longer play because of maintenance. So
They
that's
want to work
great.
on back-end maintenance. Is it actually making the game better, or are they just fixing things that are 100% broken, and they got to go, oh, shit. Let's do this before it does any more damage.
Yeah, I don't know. I do not know the answer because all of these kind of come and go, and it doesn't really seem much different to me, but who knows? I don't know about game development, but it sucks to have maintenance happen in the US at, 7 p.m. Pacific prime time. So,
Yep.
but they do this because they're in Korea, and it's not prime time for them. It's 11 a.m. when they pull the maintenance trigger. So it sucks, though, for us.
Garbage.
Trash. Mobile home, beep, beep.
They're doing first person, Dan.
PUBG Mobile 0.6 update coming soon, aka download now for iOS and Google Play.
They're literally doing first person, Dan.
Cody.
Dan.
Come on, Zach. Okay, sorry. Yeah, first person. And you could even do free look.
That's insane.
It looks as good as the PC game does. I mean,
And
there's a
has
little
more
bit of clunkiness.
content. And has more content.
Yeah.
Daily things. Perks, rewards, leveling. First person, Dan.
Come on, Dan. Yeah. I'm just looking at this trailer. So if you guys go to the PUBG Mobile Discord, you might have to Google that, but find it. Go to the PUBG M Updates channel, and the first video there posted is the PUBG Mobile 0.6 video. It's a little trailer, 19 seconds long. You can see this in action. It's got everything the PC and the Xbox does. I mean, we've talked about it. We've said it. You guys know, but it's pretty freaking cool. The graphics are pretty freaking good. It's got Miramar. It's got auto looting. It's got Erangel. It's got first person now. Free look. What
I'm
doesn't
gonna
it
put
have?
some hours into mobile this week, I think.
I think you should. I think we should have someone who can speak to this because I have really never played it since it came out. So
I'm doing it.
we
Challenge
definitely need some
accepted.
feedback. But speaking of feedback, it's John Cena. I've got some feedback from someone in the Discord named CZ Sniper. Spelled differently. Sniper says, "Hey, you asked for my thoughts on the mobile game, so here they are. This person has not played the PC game, so their circle of friends does play it frequently, so they consider themselves somewhat familiar with the meta, but they don't really play it on PC. They say the tier system and corresponding rewards are great, matches are competitive but not hopeless, and the season-specific tier rewards keep things fresh. The game is friendly to casual players like myself, they say, while still retaining enough of a learning curve to keep it interesting. For example, they don't have to learn how to zero in sights with page up and page down to be competitive, but they do have to master bullet drop on the Car 98. So this game even has bullet drop, dude.
It's
it's
insane.
got everything. The bot issue is drastically overblown. You heard it here first. Most of the complaints seem to come from PC and Xbox players trying out mobile for the first time who then feel cheated upon learning that the first chicken dinner they got was tainted. They had some taint in their chicken dinner.
I mean, I thought I was a god.
Yeah, me too. I had 5 kills.
I have like 9. I'm so good at this game.
I also got the impression that many of the players who are complaining about encountering too many bots aren't making it to the top 50 anyways. So that was a little sass on those complainers out there. Regarding mobile content for the podcast, they say they love it, but they think mobile players like them. I keep trying to mess up these, what's the word for those things? Pronouns. There you go. Those things. I went to school to be a writer. Are finding PUBG for the first time, and they're really hungry for content that might be considered elementary or old news to Xbox. So this was actually good feedback that I just wanted to highlight from this person who says that they want some more gameplay tips that are for beginners, because we do, and I think we lose track of the fact that a lot of the people listening to our podcast are new, and we're getting some new players every single day in our Discord and listeners. So they're interested in learning things like grenade use, drop spots, and etc. But thank you so much, C Sniper, for this feedback. I'd like to hear from someone who has played mobile for a while and is also experienced with the PC as well, because it's cool that you have this background and also are able to speak solely to the mobile version, which you're most familiar with. And that's your mobile home.
Beep, beep, motherfuckers.
It's Jamagby time. Here's Johnny.
Beatboxing time.
Hold your fire.
Hold your fire.
That's what we're going to talk about today.
Take it away, John.
I did. That was me taking it away.
What's hold your fire, John?
I'm just in my own little world. You guys can do it. I'll just keep doing dubstep. Boom, boom, boom. All right.
I don't think they're gonna listen to dubstep.
No, not at all. I don't know how it goes. I just know it goes. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Hold your fire, Dano,
I'm holding.
because that's what this week's about. But first, before we get into that, I want to read, or at least present, something that we got in the related to last week's topic about PUBG being an esport. Rai09 said, came into the Discord and said that he actually really enjoys PUBG and it's gotten a lot better. So I asked him to clarify a bit. And he said a couple of things that happened. I pointed out that mid-game is usually pretty boring when we're playing. However, it's actually a time when pro players take like where they kind of want to end up for the end circle. So they jump in and have some fights to take some ground that gives them the advantage in later circles, hopefully. Like high ground or a set of buildings, that kind of thing. They also they have better commentators now, probably because the game is older and people are more experienced doing it. And the camera work is better. They also have multiple streams. If you have a specific team that you want to watch, you can tune into that specific team and watch them. So it sounds like they're making some progress. I still think there are problems with the esport, but Rai really likes it. So tune in, check it out, and let me know if you disagree with the points I made last week or whatever.
Yeah, we're gonna announce when that tournament happens. I'm sure we'll cover that and just give an announcement when the finals are coming up. So I feel like that's the time to tune in and really see what they've done. I want to see myself if they've made any progress in that area. Mm-hmm. But that'll be a good tell because of the high profile and high purse amount. Yes. $2 million. So yeah, stay tuned for that.
So anyway, now on to our regularly scheduled Jamagby. which is an internal name. Don't tell anyone that.
Jamagby!
Working title.
This is Hold Your Fire. So I want to talk about situations when you shouldn't shoot in the game.
And that sounds weird, John, because this game is about shooting people at all times. Why would I hold my fire?
Thank you, Dano. This is my point. There are occasions when firing would alert your presence to enemies, not just the one that you're firing at, but other ones in the area. You could have a disadvantageous shot and it not be worth that kind of exposure to take the shot. You could have teammates in front of you. There's a lot of different times when you should wait and see what happens, and that is the correct thing to do. This is actually kind of a tough thing to learn for people who are used to fast-paced shooters. If you're coming into PUBG from like a COD background or something like that, it can be a difficult skill to master. You just like, as soon as you see someone, you want to unload on them. But occasionally, especially in squads or duos, this can be the wrong tactic.
So yes. And I have one thought on this.
Okay.
This was hard for me to do when I was a beginning player.
Yeah.
This is a hard thing to do when you're kill hungry. And this
Yeah.
is a hard thing to do when you carry the team on your back.
True.
It's also a hard thing to do when you are constantly failing at this game or getting shreked by people to come back and try to play in a level-headed way where you're not just opening fire on the first person you see to try to get your confidence back.
Right. And I don't think it's always a bad thing to just open up on the first person. Like if you're down and you just want to kill and move on to the next match or whatever, that's fine. But still, this is a good thing to think about when you're in an engagement, when you spot someone for the first time and your team hasn't necessarily seen them. There's, in general, not in general, but there are situations when waiting to fire is correct. Dan, I see you have a note. What is this note?
This note is actually about suppressors, because this is something that I thought of as you were saying how you don't want to always open fire immediately because of the person and potentially their teammates that you're fighting against, but also other people in the area, and that's the key here. So I was actually having this conversation with your homie, your brother, a little while ago. Our homie. I don't know why I call him your homie.
He's my homie. He's my brother.
I guess, yeah. Well, your home skillet.
Shout out to Crander Belt.
Shout out to Crander. We were talking about like suppressors, and I think this was an old version of Hot Drop, the old days when I was doing the show solo. We were talking about how I pick an SMG suppressor, and he said something like, it's sort of interesting that you would pick an SMG suppressor because you're so close, or they would already see you or hear you anyway, so what's the point? And I think my rebuttal at the time was, it's not necessarily for the guy I'm shooting against that's in front of me or engaging with, it's for the enemies around me. So that's why I would potentially choose an SMG suppressor over a compensator in a close range fight. Assuming I get the drop on someone and assuming that I take them out without them firing a shot, I can potentially use a weapon that only is audible from 100 meters away versus 300 or 600 or 700. That's a rifle. I think a rifle, you can hear it from about 600 or 700 meters away, unsilenced, and then silenced, I think it's about 300 or 350. So that was just a point I wanted to make there. It's not necessarily about the person you're fighting, it's everyone else.
Right. Like with an AR, you want a suppressor so that people can't find you as easily, but it also helps muffle your sound for other people nearby that you're not necessarily shooting at. It's really good on Miramar, especially where there's not a lot of tree cover. So hearing a shot, you might be able to get a high ground and then see the person who's actually taking the shot if they don't have a suppressor.
Right. Yeah. Very important to take people out silently, because we've definitely gotten screwed by people that have just heard our shots and come running at us.
Yeah,
gotten
totally.
pinched, because we do it all the time ourselves. We're like, oh, but we hear shots, let's run that way, and that's how we find fights. So if you want to avoid that situation, I think that is pretty key. Using silencers as much as possible, even when they're on close range weapons.
So I want to bring up a Counterstrike example, and I hate that we really bring this up all the time, but it's a really good example for this kind of thing. As a counter-terrorist, you are defending a location. If you're positioned in such a way that the enemy team doesn't see or notice you right as they enter the location that you're defending, if you, instead of shooting the first guy who you might have like a kill shot on, wait to get more information, provide it to the team, and then unload on them, most often you can get a very significant advantage. Your team will have a better idea of the enemy's team positions. You can end up getting more than one kill, which is usually the best reason to do it, is because you can finish people so quickly in that game. You can start a headshot on the first guy that you want to kill, not the first guy into the location, but after you've let the team kind of proceed into the location, you can execute one guy and then move on to the next and maybe get him or take him down to half health or whatever. It's a really good strategy, and that's where I learned this skill.
Yeah, and it's also true that if you get up right behind someone and you can sort of see where their weapon is trained, where they're looking, with some quick trigonometry and power of mathematics, you can sort of determine where his teammates might be looking if there's only a certain number of entry points to that location. So if there's 2 doors and one guy's looking at door 1, and you can probably assume that there's another guy in the opposite corner looking at door 2. So you can sort of gain a little bit more knowledge about the layout of where your enemies are located if you're attacking a location.
What a hot tip.
Yeah, buddy. And there's just like so many classic Counter-Strike tips of like just being simply outplayed, like you hear that term, like people just creeping up behind someone and just not shooting them, not letting them know they're there, and just waiting and watching and hugging really up close to the person so we can gather as much info as possible, and then taking out like 3 guys at once because the enemy led him to all of his other teammates. It's very hard to do that, but some of very hilarious and really awesome clips can be found on Counter-Strike in that situation.
Now, where I think this is most applicable in PUBG is, we actually saw it a lot on the new map play testing that Savage, Sanhok, whatever.
Funky chicken.
Funky chicken. When you spot, we were playing squads, and spotting one person can be difficult with that terrain. It's mountainous and it's very heavily tree covered. However, when you spot one person, your instinct is to shoot at them, right? But as we're talking about, you want to hold your fire, because most often when you're playing squads, more than one person is with that enemy. So waiting for that moment where you get a little bit more information. There was one time where we held our shot and we saw one guy running through the forest, and we waited and waited, and then we saw 3 other people like appear over the ridge of a mountain, and we were able to take that fight much more safely than shooting and then them having kind of the information of where we are and 3 of the team members not being visible to us, which would have been very difficult for us.
And then it happens the other way around when we were on a hill and we looked across to another hill and saw 3 guys, and we opened fire immediately, and they immediately turned around and picked us all off because they had better scopes than we had. I think we had like
worst.
2Xs or hollows, and we were taking a long-range fight stupidly, thinking like, oh, they can't see us, we'll get them.
We do that more often than we should.
Constantly. I would say, that's one of our biggest problems that we do all the time.
Yeah. Or that one of us, come on, Zach, ends up firing first. But it's not because he's being a dick. It's because he's eager to continue on the game, especially if we've been looting for a long time.
And he's confident in his shot.
He is. And he's a great long shot.
He's very
Zach's
good.
got a great long shot.
He does,
and so being able to do that coincides with this idea that like we can take these fights, and sometimes it's harder to not say like, no, we're not in a good position, or maybe we should wait a second here.
Yeah.
Actually, when we were playing on Funky Chicken, I remember a few times where he saw people and actually held off, even though he had like the scope and the shot. He was like, I really want to shoot, but then he didn't, which was...
I think we're slowly learning our lesson.
Yeah, and we're slowly getting to know more about how each other plays. You know, like that's another key too. If you play with the same people enough, you kind of get a feel for how they'll react in a certain situation, and that's why John and I work so well together, because we've been playing for so long.
Right.
And not saying that shooting that long range guy is the wrong move, but if Zach, just using him as an example, if he's the only one with a scope and a long range weapon, that is a bad scenario, because the enemy, you don't know what they have. They could have the same things you have. Maybe one guy with a sniper, they could have more, but you open up your team to risk as soon as you make that shot, as soon as you make your presence known.
Exactly.
So it's a little bit tough.
Yeah, and there's times where you think you have like a perfect opportunity. You see a guy, and maybe you see two of his teammates sort of running ahead of him. So you got one guy in the back, he's kind of a straggler, and you're like, oh, I can take this guy. But you never really know what kind of kit the enemies has, and maybe where that fourth guy is. You just see two guys in front and one guy lagging behind, and thinking, all right, I'll just take this guy out easy.
Right.
And then maybe his friend is right next to you
already.
yeah, or already shooting you, or already spotted you. So yeah, it's so hard to really give good instructions or good advice about how to handle this, because every situation is so different in this game. And players. Yeah, the skill level. You never know if you're going against a Shroud or you're going against, you know, a brand new player.
Or your own personal skill level. It's like, can you two-tap this guy versus is it going to take you like half a clip to bring this guy down?
It's
or
magazine,
1.5
clip.
for some people.
1.5 clips.
Magazine.
That's why we get you that. Magazine. That's why we get you that extended magazine.
Shout out to magazine, not clip guy.
The other time when this is really important is when you are kind of lined up or nearby the same cover with a teammate, and you're both trying to kind of strafe to keep this guy in your sights and keep firing on him. It can be really difficult to fire from behind a teammate and not hit them. But the best way to control this is not having an itchy trigger finger. This is especially a problem for new players. And usually more veteran players will have the minimap sense or map awareness to not stand in front of their compatriots, or will crouch in front of the teammates so that it's not quite just like a body block. But being aware that your teammate is in front and maybe to the side of you, and might, depending on where the enemy moves, sidestep in front of you is very important when you're playing in that situation.
Yeah, that's a tough thing to sort of train new players to do, body awareness, and kind of predicting how your teammates will strafe and go back and forth. And, you know, Counterstrike, it's big because you can sidestep, do AD, and sort of shoot when you stop moving between those two movements. So you sidestep left, tap right, and then you fire as soon as you tap right. So you fire on the stop motion, I guess.
The counter movement.
Yeah, the counter movement.
Or counter striking.
It doesn't work so well in PUBG because of the movement is so clunky. But you brought this up the other day that you wanted it to be more that way, I think. Or maybe you were just saying it was a lot different than what we were used to in the past.
Yeah, so that was on the most recent War Mode with Car 98s, and I was getting into a lot of sniper duels where you would be strafing like across from an enemy who's strafing as well, and trying to get the aim and hit them as quick as possible so that you can go back to strafing so that they'll miss. And it's a skill that is in a lot of the Source games. I used to do it on TF2 a lot, and Counterstrike, as you were saying, you hit the counter movement key and that stops your momentum so that your aim is perfectly accurate. I don't know if it really has a place in this game, but it was hard for me to take those battles with that instinct to, use counter movement to stop my momentum to get a perfect shot. And that wasn't working in PUBG.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed.
So that is this week's not tip of the week. Don't worry about counter movement. So I think that's pretty much it for holding your fire. Just be aware of how loud gunshots are and how much attention that attracts. As Dano said, we hunt using those sounds.
Every time.
We track down players with that. So try at least, especially if you're in a squad, be aware of whether your team has eyes on the person you want to fire at, if they have teammates as well, where those people are. Do you have a clean shot? That kind of thing. Is he stopped? Be stopped. Unload on him. Do it. Kill the guy for sure.
Mess his day up. No mercy. Cobra Kai way.
For sure. But work on thinking through this. It's again making sure you know what ripple effects your actions have. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all I had for this week. So this has been me, John, making a safe point.
Nice.
Nah.
Let's see what you did there.
I do as well. Beautiful.
Dan, don't just copy me. I saw what he did first.
Okay, well, I saw it too. Doesn't make me any less important. Okay.
Now you
John?
fuckers saw me. Invisible.
All right.
Cool.
I like that topic.
Yeah.
You didn't have much to say, Cody.
I know. I was actually listening pretty intently to you guys, and halfway through I was like, I haven't said anything.
Oh, you didn't leave this time like last time?
No. I was just really interested in what you guys had to say that time, and I kind of got lost in it.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. But I want you to speak up more, buddy.
Okay.
It's hard, though, to make a good point about this because it's so situational. It really is. Every single fight is so different. But
No, see, John is very good about not shooting when you shouldn't shoot.
oh, yeah, totally.
We are all very bad at it.
Yes, I would agree with that.
You are bad at it because you want to kill everything.
True.
Jack is bad at it because he really wants to start a fight, and I'm bad at it because I know that I have to shoot a lot more than you guys to get a kill.
Pretty accurate.
The only reason I'm good at this is because I don't want to do it incorrectly.
And you hate us for doing it so much that it deters you from doing it.
No. That's looting from one box.
Hey-o. 3 of us looting from one box. Get wrecked by one Molotov by one guy. It's a pro strat.
I laughed so hard.
And then you got so mad.
No, I didn't get that mad that day. It was the previous day that I was mad. When it happened, when I had died from those guys across the way when we were shooting the AFK guys, and then you all looted from one box at that place, and then that guy walked up on you and killed you.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I was mad.
That
the
happened.
Next day, when it happened again,
He was past the anger stage.
I was just cracking up. Yeah, because it didn't get me killed. I came back and I killed him, and then saved the team.
Oh, toot your own horn
And
a
this
little
has
more.
been
Jeez.
me, Lemon John, carrying the team.
Not looting from a box.
Telling you how to play the game.
Because I'm the
Commander.
smart one.
Commander was cracking up at that. I told him about it. We were dying.
Oh, God.
Question of the week. It's the question of the week. We're doing questions from the week. There are questions in our Discord.
I've thought for a really long time about adding music as an intro, but I think that's better. I think we need to just keep doing this. Question of the week. It's the question of the week. And this week's question was... What
What weapons would you like to be added to the game?
Yeah. It can be map specific as well. Weapon for Erangel, Miramar, or Sanhok. Cody, take it away with Durazed89.
For Erangel, toxic gas grenade. What? Mechanics of the smoke grenade, red smoke, or care package could be green or yellow. That's an awesome idea.
Yeah.
But what it has to do is disorient, not damage.
And so the problem with this is that you would want something to counteract it, right? So the logical question, or a logical choice, I should say, question is not the right word, is to use a gas mask. But we have gas masks in our inventory. So what do we do about that? Because those are actually worth money, even if they're 15 cents or whatever. We have items that are worth money. So you start looking
Give it
at
a
the pay-to-win
different gas
situation.
mask. Give it a different gas mask.
So like one of those like medical masks or something like that.
They could do whatever they wanted at that point. Yeah. Like say
Yeah.
like this is going to be what works. The other one's just aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah. I like this idea though because it gives you a little bit more options. It gasses people out of the house without totally killing them. It might be more of a stun mechanic, like you said, like disorienting.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. A lot of people responded well to that in our Discord. They were pretty interested in the stun aspect of a gas grenade.
That'd be awesome. His suggestion for Miramar was a whip because it fits the desert theme and could be in the same slot as a pan. I can't imagine that'd be overly useful because you can't tell me that a pan and a whip would do the same amount of damage, but it would be cool as hell.
Yeah, you'd have a little more reach, I think. It'd be kind of like a medium range melee weapon, I guess.
Yeah. Yep.
That's kind of cool.
And on Sanhok, a bayonet.
Yes, love
I think
this.
we've all been kind of hoping for a bayonet or a knife of some kind.
Yeah, and it makes sense. It really makes sense.
Yeah.
Because, like, there's a lot of close quarters battles. It gives you that melee system like Halo would have, where you just, or any other game like COD or Battlefield, where you just come up and smack people with your gun. Like, why not? It just makes sense. It's realistic. It's not over the top. It's fun to use. It's not overpowered. I think it makes a lot of sense to add a bayonet. Maybe not for all weapons. Like the Kar 98 seems like an obvious choice. Maybe like the M16 or something like that. The shotguns, maybe. Yeah, just having a weapon that you can use up close and feel good about.
For sure. Fugs said that was awesome Battlefield 1, so why not bring it over to this game?
Yeah.
Then there was a lot of talk between Kyler and Fugs.
Yeah, Kyler also agrees that Battlefield 1 does have a gas mask mechanic. It does damage to you if you don't have a mask on, and you're not allowed to aim down sights if you have the mask on. So there's a give and take here with the effects of the gas mask and the effects of the grenade itself.
Cool. All right, let's skip down there here.
Yep. We've got SPG 1972 says a potato gun to help me with my aim.
Potatoes, using potato guns. DVigs says they would love a grenade or rocket launcher. It would be sweet to see someone looting in a house across from you and boom, eat that rocket. I have mixed feelings about this, and I would like to make it next week's question of the week.
Ooh, okay.
What are your concerns or advocacies for an RPG in this game or a rocket or a grenade launcher? Should we add it? Should they not add it? Why and why not?
I like that.
Yep. I have mixed feelings about it. I think it would be awesome. I think they would need to be super limited and really fucking hard to use.
Limited in terms of spawn or ammo or both?
Yes, both.
Yeah.
Crate only.
Possibly
Crate
war
only
mode
for
only?
crate only for the weapon. Spawn in the world and rare spawns at that.
Wow. Yeah, that would make it pretty balanced because you'd never be able to find the gun and the ammo at the same time.
Yeah.
Or maybe like a flare gun spawns in the world, which brings down a crate, which has a rare chance to get ammo.
That would be sick. Yeah, that'd be pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah. And I kind of feel the same about what Scale Speeder says, which is the flamethrower. Is that what you wanted to move on to, or did you have other thoughts?
Yeah,
about
no,
that?
that's exactly what I'm gonna move on to because it's the same point.
Yeah.
A flamethrower would be awesome. It would have to be a limited ability, like maybe say 10 seconds of flamethrower ability, which would be good for clearing one house, you know, and have a rare opportunity to get it. He says it would take place of your existing backpack, severely limiting the ammo, nades, and meds you can carry, but it would give you a massive advantage when clearing houses and making people move from cover.
That is something I didn't think of. The backpack.
It's amazing. Well, Scale Speeder is a very smart man. So,
yes.
think about the possibilities of that mixed with what they're trying to do with this riot shield, and they're creating roles for people.
Yeah, that's true.
Roles that don't limit you, but enable you to work without having to worry about who's carrying the meds, without having to worry about that other stuff. You don't have a choice, you know? Where when we tried to do our roles, it was like, oh shit, we're all kind of carrying meds. Cody was supposed to carry the meds, and with these, you don't have an option.
That's a really good point. That is, John is, you're channeling your inner John here. That was beautiful. Making great points.
Scale Speeder is my muse.
Jamie says remotely detonated C4. And I think these are all in the same vein here. We've got
I like it. It opens up a new realm of possibility for the way that you play certain modes of the game.
It does. These are the heavy weapon category. We don't have anything like this. And it's just a lot more exciting to add things like this than another M4 or another Scar that does the same thing, you know? Yeah. So it makes sense that people went here with this question, but they have to do it in such a way that it would be not overpowered, which is very difficult to do.
Yep. Chaz Maha says they really want a compound bow for Savage. If it was good enough, it would be really fun in a lot of areas on the map. And I don't know if this counts, but I think that situational ammo could be really cool. Maybe armor-piercing rounds that you could choose to load when you wanted. It would give you 30 rounds of increased damage, make it a rare drop, or throw it in a care package or something. I also want underbarrel attachments. Not sure how that would fit in balance-wise, but it'd be cool if your M4 could have a single-shot shotgun attachment or a grenade launcher. So that's kind of that combination of it all, is like you have this ability in a very limited way to add something ultra-powerful to your arsenal, and here's the additional piece to this that I'm now thinking of: add it to the bigger map so that people play it. Because if your game's going to move slower on Erangel and Miramar, give them some cool ass shit, and then leave Sanhok for the people who want a normal gameplay that moves fast, that you only use the weapons.
Interesting. Another good take. I like that. I think my rebuttal to the M4 underbarrel attachment is that makes that gun too powerful, because I think 100%. One of the things that you can do with these heavy weapons is make them difficult, or sorry, not difficult, but make the draw time a long time. So when you try to select that gun to bring it out, it takes like 3 seconds to pull it out, which is a really long time in the heat of a firefight. But to have a grenade launcher right on your gun, an instant grenade at the click of a trigger, is just too much. It's too powerful.
Sure. And so this one from Mr. Suds that I actually think is an awesome idea is to add a 50 cal weapon on vehicles, such as the UAZ. I disagree with the buggy and the boat. I think the boat specifically, and a specialized rare spawning land vehicle where you add a 50 cal on that only has like 100 rounds.
So here's my take on this. What if this is a weapon that you find in the world, a mountable 50 cal, that you have to carry in a weapon slot that you can't use, and that you have to mount to the vehicle once you get there? Perfect. It doesn't always come on the vehicle. You have to find the gun and then put it on it.
Beautiful. I love it. I think it's such a cool idea, and it would be incredibly inaccurate anyway, so it wouldn't matter. If you're on a boat, it's moving or not, it's going to kick that boat. You're going to rock, and you're not going to be very accurate. And when you're driving on a UAZ, you're not going to be very accurate.
Yep. Or it slows you down, maybe.
You're going to give away your position anyway if you're trying to sit still and fire it, so you're screwed either way.
Low ammo count, overheats quickly. I think that's the way to make it balanced. I think it's possible. I like this idea a lot.
Yep.
The Baby Man says, Add a sword just for the hell of it.
Maybe a scimitar.
And he loves the 50 cal idea on boats. Agreed. Turbo Unicorn says, my vote would be an AR chambered in 6.8 SPC. So this is a little above my pay grade here, but it sounds like an AR with a different type of ammunition. It would have the recoil and fire rate of a SCAR or M4, but the damage of an AK. So, okay, we're talking about an M4 that does the damage of an AK. It would be a crate weapon that is clearly better than the other ARs, but it would have its own 6.8 ammo and only come with 90 or 120 rounds. So this is taking the idea of the AWM, which has its own 300 Win Mag ammo, and putting that into an AR format. So an AR with its own type of ammo. Interesting take. I kind of feel like the AUG and the Groza are this. It's got
Definitely the Groza.
Yeah, I'd like to wonder. I'm wondering how to differentiate it between those two. Because it sounds like at least the AUG and the Groza, like the intention of those weapons is this purpose, having a more powerful. Well, I guess the damage isn't any different. I'm pretty sure the damage is the same. It's the recoil is the big thing in the AUG and the Groza. Interesting take. I dig it. Thank you for this. I've never ever actually heard of that ammunition type, and I've been around gaming a long time, so you learned me today. You learned me.
Death Coat Betty, Bamberland. They want a rare M203 attachment for the AR class that would come with 2 rounds only.
Yep, this is that grenade launcher under barrel.
Yep.
I don't agree. I don't agree. I think it's a standalone grenade launcher that's slow to pull out, maybe. I think this just gives you just too much devastating power up close, mid-range, and
wildly, and it would need to be wildly inaccurate.
At which point it would make it just frustrating and annoying to use. So, yeah. But again, all of this stuff, that's not to say it doesn't belong in a war mode. They can put this stuff in the game. Going back to episode 2, I talked about the platform.
Giving it legs, Westworld.
What'd you say?
Remember we were talking about making this into like a Westworld type situation.
Yeah.
Different
Western
themes of different stuff and have different eras and kinds of warfare and all that stuff. So
yeah. Yep. It can belong in other game modes. I don't think it belongs in Erangel.
No.
With the game mode we have today.
Nope.
Word. So that was the question of the week. And next week's question again, Cody, do you want to drop that?
What was it again? Fuck.
You wanted to know from our lovely audience, how do you feel about the powerful weapons such as grenade launchers? Do they have a place in this game?
Yes. Pros and cons. Give me your best. Call it in. Rant about it.
Yep.
Use the hotline, people.
Tell us how to balance it, how to make it reasonable to use. We gave you a couple ideas. Expand and I don't know. Tell us. I was trying to think of another good word. Expand and
extrapolate.
Extrapolate. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Thank you. That's your question of the week. And after the question of the week, what comes next?
We're done.
We're done. We got a hotline.
Give me that hotline bling. You can only me one thing.
You have new messages.
The Xbox box finally got a real update, and now that I'm back on Xbox, does Hot Drop have an Xbox club?
Yes, we do.
They should add a 15x as melee. That would be more useful to me. LOL.
Cody, get a haircut, you dirty hippie.
My least favorite weapon would have to be the crowbar. Ha ha ha. Seriously though, I like them all in different ways. My least favorite would have to be a tie between the revolver and the Uzi. That being said, getting kills with either one of those is satisfaction.
An ode to Lord Bareface. There was a young man from New York who loved eating slowly smoked pork. His keys were sticky when he played on PUBG because he ate with his hands, not a fork.